Are you the kind of person who loves watching other people play video games? Well, congratulations! I made a movie for you.
Right, let's have a look at you. Open the glove box, please. Take out that whole contraption. You've got to untangle the wires. Take your shirt off, please. Open up there. Yeah, those. Plug the jacks in there. Yeah, in there. So, your name's Henry, and... Okay, well, the good news is that you're going to live a while. The bad news is that in this case, a while means 20, 30 minutes tops, Henry. Unless you're very, very lucky.
Hardcore Henry is a story about a man who wakes up and has to figure out who he is and what's going on in the world around him. It's an action film that uses the first-person shooter viewpoint as kind of a gimmick to run the entire movie. Is it a gimmick that works, or does it get old? Here's 5 things you might want to know about Hardcore Henry. How about a warning right off the bat? If you deal with motion sickness or anything like that, stay away. This is the most motion-intensive movie I have seen ever. The reason? Again, because it's using that first-person viewpoint, and it never cuts away from that. You are in first-person viewpoint for the entire film. So if you get nauseous, maybe like for movies like Cloverfield, this is like next-level Cloverfield. So just fair warning, you may need an air sickness bag. All right, let's start with what works about this movie. I actually think there's an interesting mystery in this story that does capture me in some ways. I want to know why this world is like it is, what exactly is going on, who is this person, what is his relationship to the people around him. That's at least something compelling to think about while this first-person viewpoint thing is going on. The resolution of it was okay, but at least the mystery of it I thought kept me interested. I'll also say the first-person gimmick thing, I actually think it works for a lot of this. There's something very compelling about being in the eyes of the person doing the action. I even mentioned this with The Brothers Grimsby, an awful movie, but the action scenes were shot from kind of that first-person view, and it's very visceral. There's something very real about that. And because of that, some of these action scenes, some of these fight scenes, I think they do work very, very well because you feel like you're right inside of it. The problem is, and this is where the movie starts to fall apart, it just gets old. For the entire thing, you're in this thing and you never have rest from it. It really is like watching a friend play a video game. Sometimes I wonder if this movie should have been rated M for mature instead of rated R, because it feels that much like a video game. And that gets old. At some point, you want to grab the controls and you want to play because you're done just watching somebody else do things. And it steals that from you a little bit. Plus, it makes the movie feel a little bit cheap. I can't really explain that one, but there's a psychological aspect to watching a film that is like this the entire way that just feels a little bit underdone. And so overall, the effect is you get bored with it pretty quickly. The other way it's like a video game, and this really hurts the movie, is there's no story. I don't mean video games can't have a story. I mean, when you don't see your protagonist, when you're in first person the entire time, you don't get a sense of who they are, what they look like, what they sound like, how they move. And so you don't have really anything to buy into or to care about. And I think that structure really damages your ability to care about these characters in any real way. Overall, I feel like Hardcore Henry is a movie that had a great concept, but used it more as a gimmick rather than to tell a truly compelling story. I give it a C+. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the best ever challenge here in a bit. First, want to let you know, if you want to connect more with what goes on here, feel free to click the cards. There's a little button up here on YouTube. You can kind of see other reviews, where the website is, all that kind of fun stuff. You can also follow me on Periscope, Aaron Dicer, and I kind of cut in there and do some live movie reviews. You can also listen to the podcast, SiftPop. SiftPop, if you're a podcast person, whatever podcast player you use, just search for SiftPop. We do it weekly. We have a different pop culture guru on to talk about whatever that week's movie is, different television things, all sorts of pop culture. All right, on to the best ever challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category and also try to identify my choice. Let's go with the best gimmick movie ever. A movie that primarily relied on some sort of gimmick. Mine has to be the one where the gimmick was they told the audience they were not allowed to enter the movie late, that they would lock the doors and keep people from coming in. Also, it killed off its star early in the movie, spoiler alert. Also, it's shot in black and white, even though color was widely available. Lots of gimmicks in this one. Take a guess at mine in the comments. Also, leave your choice there as well. I'd love to hear it. And as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just click the Your Movie Friend logo. It's right down in this corner.